You know at Stamp TV, we always love to bring you the latest and greatest products for paper crafters. Well, I happened to get my hands on a couple of the new products by Faber-Castell's new Design Memory Craft line. Faber-Castell's Design Memory Craft line is a brand new line of art products for paper crafters, created by a company that is celebrating its 250th anniversary in the fine art world. Now, any company that's been creating coloring tools for artists for 250 years certainly has it down pat. And their new Design Memory Craft line brings a high-quality, acid-free product that you can safely use to create beautiful results on your scrapbook pages and cards. The product I want to show you today is called their Pitt Pastel pencils. Now, what I love about these is that they're very similar to chalk pastels, except they come in the form of a hard pencil, which softens easily. It can be sharpened in a regular pencil sharpener and can create vibrant or soft color with precision. So today on Stamp TV, I'm going to show you a fun background technique using the Pitt Pastel pencils and a little embossing. Let me show you the tools and products you're going to need to do this technique. First, you're going to need some of the Pitt Pastel pencils. And I have the yellow pencil, I have the orange pencil, and then I have a green pencil. Now, I won't be using the green pencil in the background technique, but I did use it in my focal image. So when you see my finished card project, you'll know why I have the green pencil out. Then you're going to need a rubber stamp, and I'm using one of the brand new stamps from the new Stamp TV kit Sent with Love. I've chosen some chocolate brown cardstock to use as my card layer, the base layer. And then I have some Versamark ink and some Ranger Superfine Detail Clear Embossing Powder, and of course a heat tool. So to begin, I want to create a little bit of a plaid background on my piece. So I'm going to start with the orange Pitt Pastel pencil, and I'm going to just scribble some lines on an angle going down the entire piece of cardstock. And I'm not being super precise. I certainly don't have a ruler out or anything like that. But I'm just doing these big scribbly lines. And now I'm going to add in between, a little bit of the yellow pencil. You can see they're very close in color, but just a little bit of a different tone, and when blended together, they look really nice. You can see the vibrant color and how easy it is to get that color onto your cardstock instead of using one of those little chalk pastels and trying to rub a sponge. This is just so much easier and so vibrant. Now let me show you how nice this is. You can see here that I have all these lines. Now I'm just going to use my fingertip, and look how nice this just blends. This is how soft it gets. Isn't that pretty? Now, of course, if you want to be a little bit less messy, you could use a light sponge for this or a piece of paper towel, but I don't mind getting messy. That's why I like to stamp. Okay, so now I've done my first part of this plaid background. Now my next step is I'm going to go in the opposite direction. So again, I'm going to start with my orange, and I'm going to do the big orange stripes going across. And now I'm going to add some more yellow. And for this time, I'm just going to go with a real light touch because I don't want to smear my lines that are going in this direction, but I do want to blend these so that they're nice and soft. And again, you can see how just nice and easily these blend. They're so soft, yet they remain vibrant. Okay, so there I've created my background, and now I'm going to add some of this floral design using the Versamark pad. And what's going to happen, this is very similar to the pull-in pastel technique. I'm actually going to pull some of this chalk off using the Versamark ink. See how that looks just like a piece of plaid fabric with a little bit of a floral design intertwined in there. going to do it again. I'm going to do this all over this piece of cardstock, pulling up that chalk in different spots. Now, if you're worried about it messing up your Versamark pad, you can clean your stamp in between each time you stamp. But I actually have a Versamark pad that I use for this kind of technique, so I'm not too concerned with this one getting just a little bit dirty. There we go. Okay. You can see that design. Now, my next step is I'm going to add a little bit of clear embossing powder on top of that. And because Versamark ink stays wet for a while, there shouldn't be any problem with it drying too quickly. You don't have to move too quickly. You can see that that's still grabbing the embossing powder. It looks all white, but that's because I'm using a clear embossing powder. Blow away the excess so you can see that. Now I'm going to emboss that using my heat tool. I'm using the Marvy tool. And once it turns shiny, I'm just going to pull away from it because this is such a delicate image that you don't want to burn the embossing powder. You just want to leave it nice and shiny. Turn that around. Oops, I see a little spot there I missed. Okay. Let me turn that around. You can see how fast that embosses because the lines in this art are so delicate. It's so fast. This is a great heat tool. Okay. And now you can see, when I turn that, you can see that little bit of shine. Can you see that in there? Isn't that a pretty background? Now to set this, because a lot of people will have questions about chalk, and chalk can rub off, and especially if you've done a little bit of a pattern like this. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use just some hairspray that I picked up at my local drugstore. You can use a 3M product, or you can use any kind of art fixative. But hairspray works really well too. You want to make sure you don't saturate it, because if you saturate the chalk, it's just going to disappear. It's going to get all wet. So what you want to do is you want to spray kind of from a distance and just lightly put a coating on it. And you'll see it will turn a little bit darker, and that gives it a real distressed, almost a little bit of a masculine look, even though there's flowers on there. So that's a really nice look, very popular today. Let me show you my finished card project. And you can see here, once this is dried completely, it's gotten just a little bit darker. And then what I've done here is I've stamped the image one more time using black ink, and I've just highlighted those flowers with those same two pastel pencils, and then I added the green one. Once I did that, I just took my finger and smeared it a little bit just to give it kind of a glow around the outside of the flowers, and I have a beautiful, it's kind of a shabby chic card. I really like this one. Try this same technique on other colors of cardstock with chunkier stamps to bring in more vibrant color. Or keep it soft and simple using delicate line art images. And if you happen to be lucky enough to be heading out to California for the CHA, visit the Design Memory Crafts booth. They'll be in booth number 547 and see these pencils and their whole new line of products for paper crafters.